Welcome, beautiful, vibrant souls, to this week's Astrocast. So this is going to be looking at the week ahead, which will cover July 18th through, I almost said June, you guys. Whoops. Time is an illusion through July 24th, 2022. So welcome back to all of my old friends. Hello and welcome to all my new friends. I'm going to give a quick rundown of what astrocasting entails for the unaware, the uninitiated, so we can all start from the same page. As you see, we have this lovely circular board with the 12 equal segments, and this represents the 12 houses of the zodiac. I want to make a note that these are talking about the traditional 12 houses of the zodiac, their natural areas of rulership, but what we talk about may play out differently for you, or may play out differently for you based on your own personal astrology. Excuse me. So your own personal, house placements, planetary placements, all that good stuff. If you're interested in an Astrocast for yourself, please DM me. I'm happy to do custom readings. Looking at the week ahead, month ahead, 6 months, a year, whatever it may be. That's kind of what we got going on. And so what we do here is we reach in to this jar full of teeny tiny little tarot cards. Like, for example, look at this little Queen of Pentacles. She's so cute. Oh, I love her. So I reach in blindly, grab cards, and cast them on the board and interpret the energies of the cards based off of the energies of the cards and the areas of life that they land in, just based off where they are cast. So that's a basic rundown that I have botched apparently several times. Sorry, my words are evading me today. Excuse me. Haha, there we go. So that's basically how it works here. Anything that comes up, any or all of the messages may apply to you. Some of them are going to be related, some of them will not. It just depends on what comes out. So with that, let us dive into it. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day, love bug, whenever you are watching this. I always have trouble talking and casting at the same time. But yeah, so I hope it's good, since apparently I'm unable to talk. I want to throw this one over here, this one over here, and then this one here. Yeah, okay. So, we got lots of stuff going on. Ooh. Excuse me, hang on one sec. I do want to make note, as you see here, for example, with the sun, when the bottom of the card is facing the inside of the wheel, more than not. Same thing with the 10 of Wands. I will read this as upright. The top of the card facing in is reversed, and something like this with this tower where it's on its side is that the energy is in flux. So looks like we got some influx stuff going on. So we have the 10 of Wands in the first house. We have the 6 of Pentacles on its side. I'm going to say primarily in the second house. Sometimes when they border, I feel the need to interpret them for both, but that one I don't. We have the 9 of Wands on its side, and I'm going to actually put this in the middle, right? Which means this can apply to any and all areas of life. This is an overarching theme, and I'm going to read it as upright. Sorry, I was trying to see what they said. And then we have the Ace of Swords reversed, bordering the 8th and 9th house. So as you see here, the inside, it is on its side, but it's mostly, more than not, the top of the card is facing inward. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. Okay. We have a lot of really interesting energy. So first of all, I'm gonna start positive here. With the sun, this dropped my attention the most. This is Leo energy. The sun is bordering the 6th and 7th house. The 6th house can really be about, finding that good mind, body, and spirit connection, grounding our passions as well, right? Because it always follows the 5th house, which is Leo's house traditionally. So this is the house that deals with our passions, our hobbies, our romances, our inspirations. And we're kind of all hyped up in the 5th house, and we're just totally immersed in what we love. And the 6th house is pretty much saying, okay, cool. I know I love this thing, this person, this job, this hobby. I gotta come back to earth for a little bit. Okay, and that's really what it's about. So whenever anything borders the 6th and 7th house, this to me, excuse me, is about one of two things. This can represent grounding a partnership, of any sort, but particularly with, romance in mind, especially with that sun energy. So for some of you, you're getting very stable and grounded in a relationship. You're making, what I'm hearing is headway this week in a relationship to kind of stabilize it a bit more. And this is very harmonious and very happy with the sun. This is also where, like I said, you could be taking the next steps with somebody where you were dating and now you're kind of in more of an established partnership. This is something where you and a partner could be making plans for how to live together. But this is also enlightenment. This is understanding. This is what I feel like is kind of coming in. You and this person, whatever this is or whatever this involves and entails. This also could be a business partnership because the sixth house can deal with our daily routines and thus our careers to a certain extent. I'm so sorry, you guys. There we go. What was I just saying? What was I saying? Hang on, it's gonna come back. Don't run away. This sounds really bad out of context. Oh yeah. You could be having a business partnership and you're kind of, you're getting offered an opportunity. What I'm really feeling out of this is that there's a good set of conversations. There's a plan being made. There is light is being shed on this situation, right? And it really sets you free. If you have a conversation coming up with a partner, potential partner, honesty is always the best policy in general, but don't be afraid to speak your truth. And I do see a little bit of fear around that potentially in the Ace of Swords reversed. Especially because it's bordering the 8th and 9th house. I feel like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, you guys. Okay. I feel like with this, I want to actually jump for a second and I'm going to come back. With the Ace of Swords bordering the 8th and 9th house, the 8th house is really about our transformations. It's that death and rebirth. It's the things that we want to merge with, whether it's like relationships, intimate partnerships, and bordering the 9th house. This is also oh, there's a beautiful little bird right outside my window. Oh, it's so lovely, you guys. This is really about, I feel like a lot of you've kind of come into alignment with a new spiritual truth for yourself. Hang on, I'm just taking my hoodie off while I talk because it's getting warm now. You've come into alignment with a new spiritual truth that you have for yourself, or an expansion of your truth, right? This could have to do, I will say, with travel, with moving, and I will explain why after. But this is where I feel like you have been coming up on this awareness that something, and this is like, back up, Sanessa. This comes from this, I'm hearing a need for a change, right? There's this need you've gone through this death and rebirth portal, and there's kind of this energy of no going back, but I feel like you're still figuring out how this new information fits into your life. And this is something, because it's reversed, where I feel like you haven't told many people about this. This could be very much an internal shift. This could be where you've had clarity and epiphany about a belief of yours with that 9th house. Like I said, this could have to do with travel or moving. Excuse me. But it's this is the belief, the idea, the truth that you have that you're trying to figure out how to integrate. That's the word I've been looking for. And this could apply to any and all areas of life. So in jumping back to this could be where you have this new epiphany, you have this new insight, and it's time to share it with a partner, right? And I feel like this is you guys, because we have the little naked kiddo here, and nakedness always implies vulnerability. And we also have the horse. So first of all, year of the horse might be important. But we have the horse here, which is our freedom, right? And there's something where it's I feel like you're coming into the light, right? You're being free to be your most authentic self. So you and this person might really have a great conversation, and it might not be even, an outright, for a lot of you, I do feel like it is a conversation, not it's not subtle signs or hints. I feel like for many of you, it's a very direct conversation. This could, though, however, come through a gesture from them that indicates to you what they want. And I feel like it's going to be very freeing. And freeing in the sense of, I feel like you guys are going to find out you have more in common than you thought. You want the same things. You're on the same page. And this is going to bring you guys into really good alignment. It's going to ground this a little bit more. It's like you're finally getting into harmony, getting into a rhythm with what's going on. So I do quite like that. Now, I want to talk about this spicy boy. This tower on its side, bordering the 10th and 11th house. Can you guys see that? Awesome. I always end up like putting things in the frame the wrong way. Excuse me. So this is also kind of, to me, feeling like a big epiphany. Because I don't know, I'm really drawn into the lightning and the fire in like particular right now, and I don't know why. I'm like, oh, like if the, this is a dumb thought, but I like it. It's like if the tower is a person, it's like it's their head, right? They're like their head is on fire or being stricken by lightning. I don't know why. So again, this is like a new idea. This is an epiphany, and because the tower is on its side, I feel like a lot of you are either getting this download, this epiphany this week, this like piece of information, whatever it may be. You're either getting that this week, and then it's kind of shocking, and you're trying to piece it together and figure out what to do with it. And we could see this as well a little bit with the Ace of Swords reversed, or you've already gotten this and you're kind of trying to figure out, like, this is a week of figuring out what to do with this information. I kind of want to pull for what this is. So because it's bordering, this is a yes and this is a yes, okay. Because it's bordering the 10th and 11th house, this could be about your career. Again, I'm feeling like for some of you, this could be a move because we also have some energies going on in the second house. But this could be a career, this could be who you work with. You know, the 10th house is your legacy and your public image to a certain extent, as well as, you know, what you're really cultivating for yourself in this lifetime. And the 11th house can deal with many things, but if the 10th house is what you have done, what you have created in this lifetime for yourself, the 11th house is how you expand and you grow past that, right? It's like, I've done all I can, I've done all this, now I want to have something different, I want to have something more. And this is why this talks about wishes, you know, friends, community. The common thread here, it's the things, situations, people, circumstances, etc., that help us take us to the next level, right? Help us expand, help us grow. This to me is also, as opposed to like the third house, which can deal with your immediate surroundings, community, like your neighbors, your schools, your siblings. This is like your spiritual community because it is about that humanitarianism. So to me, the 11th house is, in terms of friends or community, it's the friends that you do your spiritual work with, as opposed to the people who are in your immediate surroundings. Not saying they can't be one and the same, but that's the differentiation to me. So there is this like tower moment that could be about, like, you could be kind of having this epiphany or getting an opportunity, seeing your opportunity, your window of opportunity for doing something different, right? And I keep hearing moving. So you could be moving for work. You could be moving to be closer to soul tribe, to soul family. You could just feel really called to a certain location all of a sudden, and you're like, I gotta start planning how to get there. Like, I gotta start planning this move. So I am kind of getting that. And as the clarifiers, wow, yeah, we have the 10 of Swords and the 7 of Cups. So this is what I'm saying. You know, the tower can be challenging energy, so clarified by the 10 of Swords, that is also very, very hard. There may have been this really, really difficult ending. And this is where I'm saying, like, maybe you already had this happen and you're kind of picking up the pieces. It's interesting, we have the 10 here and we have the Ace reversed here, right? So it's like this has already happened, but the breakthrough, the understanding, the clarity might still be coming together for you. And this is also the house of endings and beginnings as well. So you may have already suffered this loss, suffered this end, and you're kind of starting to, like, trying to piece together with the 7 of Cups how to figure out what to do with this, right? Excuse me. There may have been this recognition, this realization of like, oh, holy shit, I have to make a change, especially because the 10 of Swords, you can see the guy's got the 10 swords in his back, can really, depict or denote, there we go, can denote a situation where you feel as if somebody has stabbed you in the back, especially in career with the 10th house and the 6 of Pentacles and the second house. Nobody look at me. So that is something to consider. I do feel like I don't feel like you're getting, with the 7 of Cups, you're not getting the answers this week. You're still gonna have to kind of be open and flexible to possibilities. But what your guides kind of want to communicate is, as you're dealing with this information, whether it's already come in or it's coming in this week, as you're thinking through this, this is a pivotal moment, right? Because the Tower is when something's built up on an unstable foundation. It's not steady, it's not going to last. And we get signs, and we, get synchronicities and, intuitive hits and gut instincts that it's just not, there's something missing. It needs adjustment. It's not sound and stable the way it is. I don't know, I mean, it's make me think of Arrested Development with Lucille too. I am stable as a table. It's not, though. It's not stable as a table. And when the Tower reversed to me is like, okay, I understand this isn't stable. I see the signs. I'm going to start doing work on this now and trying to see if I can fix it or, make adjustments. It's like you see the signs and you're taking matters into your own hands, and thus it can still be difficult to make those changes, but at least it's on your own terms, right? The Tower upright is more like, I'm missing the signs. I'm too afraid to make change. I'm like, I don't know what to do. I'm burying my head in the sand, and that's when the universe comes over and knocks this shit down, right? Tower is the equivalent of the universe walking up to you, taking your purse and like dumping it, dumping it like totally upside down and just like dumping all your shit all over the ground. You kind of have to like reassemble your stuff. So I kind of feel like there's this energy where you're either suspecting this Tower moment, you've already kind of been exposed to it. It's like, it's this energy of like, oh, I see this is headed for trouble. What do I do? Or this has already hit some turbulence, some trouble. I need to act on this. I need to move forward. What do I do? I don't feel like you're getting all the answers this week. I'm going to be real with you. But I am picking up the sense with the Seven of Cups to be open to the possibilities, because I do feel like whatever this is, there may have been a painful ending, or there may be a painful ending, but it's kind of this energy of like, hang on, wait. Like we have this ace reverse here. It's like, hang on, wait, give it more time. Your truth, the truth, what you need to know is going to emerge. But try to just like stay open to the possibilities. Another thing I am getting is that for some of you, if you're sensing this and you're like, I need to make a change, you might be stuck where it's kind of like there's illusion and distortion, right? So this is kind of like daydreamy energy, and your guides kind of want to let you know, like if you get that impulse, especially with the lightning, like that impulse that you need to change something up, that something's not working, try not to ignore that, right? Try not to get lost in confusion or in fantasy, especially when it involves other people or involves a job situation. Like, you know what I mean? So especially friends, especially collaborators, other people in general, but especially in a job context. Try not to get too lost in fantasy of like, oh, it could be like this, it could be like that. You're being shown these kind of warning signs or these red flags for a reason. And it's kind of this energy of like, hey, if you act on this now, you deal with this now, you can avoid this Ten of Swords. So whatever your intuitive impulses are about this situation, lean on your intuition very heavily, and know that if you've already had a Tower moment in this area of your life, you've already suffered a painful ending, a betrayal, something that seems like it is just dead and done. Just know there are still options emerging. Try to be open to the fact that the universe is never going to leave you without choices, right? Even when it feels like that, never going to leave you without viable options. So even if a door has closed, there are many windows that are either opening or about to open for you. And that's really, really important. Pardon my sniffles. Yeah, and I see this too with this Ten of Wands in the first house. This is the house of the self. So this is also the house of the physical body. For some of you, you're feeling really burdened by your responsibilities, and this week you might be feeling physically exhausted. Try to take time for rest if you can. But also, because I'm seeing this with the Nine of Wands, right? The Nine of Wands is in the center of everything. And this is the wounded warrior. This is somebody who, I'll flip him up, right? Give him a little bit of a break. This is somebody who's been through the ringer. He's got he's bandaged, he's been hurt in battle, but he's persevering, right? He's sort of readying himself for one more go around, one more round, he's gonna make it happen. And this is this is always like the don't give up before the miracle kind of card. This is, hang in there, stay resolute, keep persevering because you're almost there, right? And that's that 10 of Wands. It's like, I'm exhausted, I am overburdened, I can't do this anymore. And because these two are showing up and the 9 of Wands at the center of everything, regardless of how these might play out for you over the next week, excuse me, or what you might be struggling with, this is just kind of like a little pep talk from Spirit being like, you are almost there, right? And I love that we have this 10 of Wands then in the first house, because like I said, this is, the 12th to the first house is like the wrap up and then the new cycle beginning. So it's kind of a rebirth energy as well. And where we have the house of the self, you are like right there on a breakthrough when it comes to something that's very important to your personal journey, to like I said, the house of the self, as well as because the first house can deal with our physical body. Like I said, if this has to do with your physical body and you're exhausted, you're very, very tired, try to take some time to rest when you can. But like they're kind of saying like hang on, I'm trying to channel for you guys. They're saying like it doesn't mean if you're like going through like physical exhaustion, always, I'm not like a physical or mental health professional, so nothing we're talking about should be considered substitution for professional diagnosis, treatment, or advice. But what I'm almost getting is if this has to do with like, let's say you started a new workout routine and you're kind of just like, oh, I don't want to do it anymore, like I have all this other stuff I need to do, I'm tired. They're kind of saying like, okay, rest when you need to rest, but don't give up on it entirely. So if that means you need to sit this one out for this week, that's okay to rest, but that doesn't mean to give up on your goals, right? Whatever that might be for yourself. So if this has to do with like with your physical body, take the time you need to take to kind of deal with whatever these issues are. If your personal life, your work life is distracting you, like feel free to channel the energy toward what's demanding your energy, but don't give up on the overall goals that you have for yourself is kind of the message here. And in general for this energy right here, this is saying that you're very close to a breakthrough, a personal breakthrough, and to not give up on it, right? It's okay it's like, again, it's this energy of like sit, take a break if you need to take a break, but as soon as you feel like you can get back into it, get back into it. Don't give up, like at a spiritual level, don't give up yet, right? Don't give up hope. Don't give up the energy you've already invested, because you are right on the edge, right on the precipice of a breakthrough coming in, right? For some of you, there is this, I'm almost getting with this 1st and 7th house. For some of you, there's a partnership where it feels like you've had to put in a lot of the effort. It feels like you've been alone in this. It can be a very difficult partnership, and you are having that breakthrough this week where you're like, oh, fucking finally. You are finally having a breakthrough, and it's like your team just wants to give you like a little pep talk that like, hey, this is the end of the hard stuff. This is the end of the road in terms of like the difficulties between the two of you. So I do want to put that out there. Now we have the 6 of Pentacles on its side in the 2nd house. So the 2nd house is really our house of career, finances. It's our material possessions. It's what we value. It's what we value because we also find security in it as well. So I actually want to clarify this one real quick. Okay, it's this one. Oh, okay, Judgment. So for some of you, what I feel like is happening with this 6 of Pentacles on its side is that there's a situation where you have given a lot. This could be having to do with your house, with the people you live with. You could have loaned somebody money and they maybe are struggling to pay you back, or they've been really elusive. Evasive is a word I'm hearing, so maybe they're dodging your calls. I don't know why that's what I'm getting, but I am. There's something where so this is the house of value, like how we assign value to things on a more internal level. This is also how we value ourselves, right? This is how we assign value to ourselves, to our work. all that good stuff. And there's something here where I think in the past you've had a distorted relationship with reciprocity, with good give and take. You may have been very blocked toward receiving. You may have just like kind of dealt with a lot of people who are takers, or this could just be like an isolated incident with one person. But I'm thinking of something bigger than that, because the Judgment card is really like a call to, I'm hearing a call to action. That's not usually what it is, but that's what I'm hearing right now. It's about making a huge decision. You're doing a life review. You're looking at, where you've been, how that got you to where you are, and where you want to go and how to get there, right? That's kind of this energy. This is also like you're hearing the call from spirit. You're gaining really pivotal insight that you're supposed to use to make a big decision in your life, to make, to pick a huge path here. This is where you're making a choice, and it's got the potential for very long-term impacts. And I feel like this has to do with a situation where there's been there's been unequal give and take. This could be a job where, you've really sacrificed a lot. And this also could be very much related to this Tower energy. This could be a job where you've sacrificed quite a lot. This could be, like I said, you've put in a lot of time, energy, effort in your home, or with somebody that you share a home with. This is just where you've really put in a lot of effort. You've really gone above and beyond, and I feel like you've been in a situation, possibly if this is, these two are connected recently, where there's been this bitter, painful ending, and you're being encouraged through this situation to really look at, whether it's related to this or not, really look at your relationship to, again, reciprocity, asking yourself those questions, like, am I blocked toward receiving? Or and like ways to kind of, I don't know why I'm being led to kind of share this, but ways to kind of get a good sense, or start to like do that work about, that shadow work around receiving, is like, okay, how do I feel when people, how do I feel when people compliment me? How do I feel when people, give me things? How do I feel when people offer to help me, right? Think about the 5 love languages, words of affirmation, physical touch, excuse me, acts of service, small gifts, and then quality time, right? If you're saying like, okay, how do I feel when somebody gives me a gift? How do I feel when somebody says nice things about me? If you can answer positively to at least 1 or 2 of them, like, oh, I love when people, compliment me. I love when people say nice things. I love when people, get me a small, thoughtful gift. That's usually a pretty good sign. But if you struggle with the idea of most or all of those, that might mean that you have like a block to receiving. That's not like a definitive test or the only way of knowing, but I don't know why that popped into my head, so I'm sharing it. Is that like, thinking about these things, thinking about times when somebody has given to you and not expected anything in return, or given to you knowing that at that time you weren't able to reciprocate, their resources, their energy, their labor, right? How did that make you feel? If that made you feel uncomfortable and stressed out, if it made you feel worried, if it made you feel, like you're not as worthy, or you're lacking in some way, that's usually indicative of a block toward receiving. And I say all this because we'll keep repeating these same patterns over and over again until we deal with it. So until there is work, there's until the shadow work is done around self-value in terms of receiving what, feeling like we are worthy of what we receive, you're going to still keep getting people who, it's like, oh God, I'm trying to remember, there's a quote, I'm butchering this really badly, but it's essentially the idea that people who are blocked toward receiving will always attract people who want to take, right? Who will always attract people who are blocked toward giving. And that's kind of the energy I'm getting. So there's something here where you're getting the opportunity, something's coming like back around, you're getting the opportunity to make a final judgment call, to make a decision, and this is about what you will and won't accept, and essentially it's your decision is reflective of your beliefs about yourself, of your value. So just keeping that in mind might be helpful for you as you go forward in this decision over the, and you might not be forced to like make a decision this week, but you're going to be put in a position to be reflecting on it and thinking about it pretty heavily. So I think this is just about everything that I'm seeing for the week ahead. I hope this has been helpful. We got some spicy stuff going on. It's been an honor to have you here. I hope I get to read for you again in the future, and I'm wishing you guys the best, brightest, and most beautiful things that life has to offer. Take care, love bugs. Bye.